So we're going great with the Gothic style all over Europe for a long time, right? We're building these huge, innovative buildings, right, with all kinds of new, interesting techniques, and then something horrible happens.
Mm.
The Renaissance. Fucking stupid.
Oh, come on, man.
We thought it was a great cultural leap forward, but architecturally,
we invented the Starchitect.
Yes.
Oh God.
We invented the black turtleneck at this point, and dudes started wearing them and going, okay, what you want to do is you want to put the stone here and here and here and here.
Go ahead.
I was gonna. They all sounded like Bjarke Ingels.
What have you got against Renaissance architecture? Because I kind of like it a lot.
I'm about to explain.
What is it, slave boy, that the Renaissance is?
Ross doesn't like it because he thinks it looks like Disneyland.
All right.
Oh, I have to get the notes back up. Son of a whore.
Previous cathedrals and churches were largely built by unnamed architects, artists, and builders. The Renaissance happens, and then we taint architecture with man's hubris, right? So here's Santa Maria Novella. This was by Leon Battista Alberti, right? This is supposed to invoke an earlier Roman form, although I don't think it really does.
No, it's kind of Byzantine-ish.
Does
kind of more Byzantine than anything. It looks like
it's also Moorish as fuck. Look at those those arches on the bottom.
The scrolls here are something kind of entirely new. It's still, he's trying to do a temple up here, but he's got a rose window in there, which is goofy. He's got.
I really like it. Actually,
it's cool. I've been there. It's a fun one. But there's some like sort of Roman influence. You can see these columns here. You go back to a more traditional Corinthian, as opposed to like having 17 enjoined columns like all together. So you have things like the Florence Duomo. This is by Filippo Brunelleschi.
Filippo Brunelleschi. I hate you.
This is actually the Duomo was built in sort of an earlier Gothic style. The original architect, who I don't know, I think his name is lost to history, said, all right, you just build up to here. And by the time you finish building up to here, you'll know how to build a dome on top of it.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I like that. I like baptism by fire.
Yeah, it's like carbon capture. You better have a way to figure this out by this point. We assume you have, because if you haven't, this whole thing's coming down.
Yeah, and Brunelleschi comes in. He's like, well, if we build a bunch of ribs, right, then we can fill in the rest. Right. And he has a whole bunch of weird structural things in there. It's held up by a bunch of iron ties and also big logs.
We do a bunch of polychrome. We have a bunch of contrasting colors on here to give it like we greeble the building.
Yeah. Well, no, they just covered it in red tile like every single other fucking building in Florence.
No.
You have architects who start to look backwards to Roman forms, right? Because they have Roman forms of architecture, not Roman forums. Well, I guess also Roman forums, right? Because they have more access to some of the Roman literature because I guess someone brought it back from the Byzantine Empire, which was still going strong.
That's not what happened. The reason why the Renaissance happened, well, if you have to pick one reason. And the reason why the Dark Ages ended is because, unlike European scholastics who are arguing about how many angels could dance on the head of a pin, the people who were the people who were preserving and translating the works of Greek and Roman writers were Muslims. And that process of cultural exchange with Muslim civilizations, most notably in Al-Andalus, allowed Europeans to retranslate the stuff from Arabic which had been translated from Greek and Latin
However,
back into their back into their Vulgate language.
Muslims also gave us algebra.
Also true.
Therefore, you do not owe them respect.
No,
joking.
algebra is fine. It's
I'm joking.
algebra 2 that sucks.
Oh, God, or linear algebra. But
Look,
just like, guess
no,
what? Remember
linear
calculus now? The line's moving, motherfuckers.
All right, no. So the worst class in high school mathematics is algebra 2 because there's no reason to exist.
No, that's fair.
Just do calculus. Just go straight to calculus. Trigonometry shouldn't exist either. You should take algebra and then you should go straight to calculus. As long as you get it conceptually, it's really easy, right? There's these two classes that have no reason to exist and serve only to make people stupider. Algebra 2, trigonometry. I don't know that you necessarily like geometry is at least interesting. But honestly, you could start teaching a lot of these mathematical concepts earlier. People would understand shit better. That's my calculus rant. It's a lot easier than people make it out to be.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Also, I should point out,
but I lose my smug superiority. My feeling of smug superiority that way. So
x squared is 2x. Done.
While I'm crediting Muslims with the Renaissance, I should also credit the Jews because
thank you.
No Christians knew how to translate Arabic into, say, Italian, right? What a lot of people did know how to do was translate Arabic into Hebrew, and a lot of biblical scholars knew how to translate Hebrew into like Italian or Spanish or whatever else. But without that intermediate step of largely Jewish translators translating Arabic works into Hebrew, you wouldn't have been able to do that. So
you're welcome.
Yeah, basically, Roz, you're welcome. It's
Roz,
us too.
Yeah.
All right, listen.
All right. Hey, it's time to announce it. It's the podcast coup. Alice, you go for the legs. I'll go for the head. Welcome to Well, There's Your Problem, a podcast without slides. I'm Liam Anderson. That's Alice Caldwell Kelly. Next on the podcast, not Roz, who we don't have in a basement under duress, right? Well, that's right. No duress. Let's keep it going, folks.
Okay, so
you can't talk. You're under duress.
You have
first thing you do in a coup, you seize the podcasting stations.
The architects start looking back to like pre-Gothic, pre-Romanesque forms. You start seeing a couple of these. If you're in the real Renaissance canon, you have to talk about Bramante's Tempietto right here. You see it's a little cute, small, round temple.
Yeah, little temple, a templet.
Yeah, exactly. You have San Lorenzo in Florence, which is sort of a return to the concept of a basilica church with the arches and the columns and stuff, but it's got some more recent decorations, right? I guess it's sort of conceptually this is a pastiche, a simulacrum.
Simulacrum.
It's a simulacrum. I've never said that word before.
No, that's
a simulacrum.
It's Disneyland. It's like you're in Basilica Land.
Yeah.
There's a regular car reviews video that explains it really well.
Basically, the vibe here is this is about as authentic a basilica, if you're being trad about this, as the Disneyland castle is a castle.
Yes. And these are, this is an imagined image of a idealized Roman basilica. Your decorations become more restrained and, quote, Roman, unquote. The structure itself gets simpler as well. You start becoming restrained by, quote, Roman, unquote forms.
Oh, don't worry. That pendulum's going to swing way back in the Counter-Reformation.
This is true. But your incredible structural feats from the Gothic era are just like, no, we're not going to do that anymore.
Yeah, no lack of insane buttresses.
Yes. Which brings us to the nexus of modern society, Old St. Peter's.
Everybody's a conservationist.
Until they get the estimate.
Yeah.
That's right.
Until they get the estimate, yeah.